My wife gambled away thousands, tried to sell our house behind my back, and now she's blaming me for her problems. My wife tried to sell our home behind my back to fund her gambling addiction. So I filed for divorce, took legal action, and left her homeless. I'm 35, male, and until a few months ago, I thought I had a stable life. I had a decent job, a home I'd work my ass off to buy, and a wife, M, who I thought I knew. But that all crumbled in ways I never saw coming. And I got married 6 years ago. At first, everything felt like it was falling into place. She was fun, adventurous, and seemed like the kind of person who could take on the world with you. She wasn't the type to settle down, but I figured that's what made life with her exciting. The way she could walk into a room and light it up was one of the things that attracted me to her. But in hindsight, I should have paid more attention to the chaos she was always stirring up. It started small, things I didn't think too much about at first. Late-night outings that didn't make sense. Out with friends, she'd say, or just needed some air. There were nights where she'd disappear and come home after hours, all jittery and nervous. She'd blow off my concerns, saying I was being paranoid, and because I didn't want to be the controlling husband, I let it slide. I should have trusted my gut. Then came the money problems. Our joint account kept dipping lower than it should. I figured maybe she was overspending on clothes or some nights out, but it seemed manageable at first, until I started noticing larger amounts missing. $500 here, $800 there. I brought it up, and she'd get defensive, saying, I'm taking care of some things. Why do you need to track everything I spend? She always had an excuse, and honestly, I hated fighting about money, so I backed off. But then I found the casino receipts. I was cleaning out the car one day, and in the glove box was a stack of crumpled receipts from different casinos. Thousands of dollars gone. At first, I thought maybe it was old, something from when we'd gone with friends, but there were recent dates on all of them. The last one was from 2 days prior. I waited for her to come home, holding onto those receipts like they were ticking bombs. When she walked in, I asked her straight out, "What's this?" I shoved the receipts in her face. She didn't even try to lie at first. Her eyes went wide, and I could see the panic set in. I can explain. You've been gambling? I interrupted, my voice louder than I intended. It's not like that, she stammered. I've been trying to win back some money we lost. I just got out of hand. Out of hand? These are thousands of dollars, Em. This isn't out of hand. This is insane. She broke down crying, telling me how sorry she was, how she didn't mean for it to spiral this way. I thought I could fix it before you noticed. I swear I'm done. I didn't believe her, but I didn't know what to do. I told her she needed to stop immediately, and we needed to sort out our finances before things got worse. She agreed, and I foolishly thought maybe that was the end of it. I gave her the benefit of the doubt. I wanted to believe that she just slipped up, that she could control it. After all, she'd never done anything like this before. Or so I thought. Weeks passed, and things seemed better, at least on the surface. She was home more. She was sweet, apologetic, and everything seemed to be calming down. But something fell off. I wasn't ready to let go of my suspicions completely. Then, one day, I got a call that changed everything. It was from a real estate agent asking me about selling our home. Excuse me? I said, stunned. I'm not selling my house. The agent hesitated. Well, your wife came in a couple of weeks ago to start the process. We've been showing the property to potential buyers. We were just waiting for you to finalize the paperwork. I hung up without another word. My mind was racing. I called Em, and this time she didn't pick up. I left work early, drove home, and waited for her. She walked in like nothing was wrong, and when I confronted her, she had the nerve to act like it was no big deal. What the hell is this, Em? You're selling our house? You didn't think maybe I should be involved in that decision? She rolled her eyes. I was going to tell you. We need the money to fix things. You don't understand how bad it is. I don't understand? You went behind my back to sell the home we worked for, the home I worked for, and you think that's okay? Just because you've buried us in debt with your gambling addiction? It's just a house, she said, crossing her arms. We can get another one when things are better. I was trying to fix everything. That was the last straw. She didn't care about us. She cared about covering her tracks, cleaning up her mess without a single thought about the consequences for me. For us. For our future. I wasn't about to let her drag me down any further. I called a lawyer the next morning and filed for divorce. I also took steps to block the sale of the house, locking down everything I could legally to stop her from touching our assets. She didn't take it well. She showed up at my work one day in the middle of the parking lot, bawling her eyes out in front of everyone. "Please don't do this," she cried. "I'll lose everything. You can't just leave me with nothing. You're the one who's been lying, stealing, and trying to sell my home without telling me." I shot back. "You made your choices, Em. Now you'll have to live with the consequences." She tried the pity card next. "I'm sick. Okay. I have a problem. You can't abandon me when I need help. What kind of person are you?" I didn't fall for it. I wasn't going to let her guilt me into staying. "I gave you a chance. You lied to my face again and again. You're not my problem anymore." After that, her tactics got even more desperate. She drained our joint account, maxing out every card we had access to. I only found out when I got a call from the bank asking if we were making large purchases. I froze all the accounts immediately, contacted my lawyer again, and made sure she couldn't pull any more financial tricks. I wasn't about to let her dig me into a deeper hole. She was furious when she found out. "You're leaving me with nothing," she screamed over the phone. "I gave up everything for you, and you're going to throw me out on the street?" "No," I said coldly. "You gambled everything away. I'm just making sure you can't take anything else." She tried turning my own family against me next. She called my parents, sobbing about how I was destroying her life and how she was going to end up homeless because of me. My mom called me, all panicked, asking what was happening. "She's manipulating you," I explained. "She's been gambling behind my back for years and tried to sell our house without telling me. This isn't me being cruel. This is me protecting myself." After I told my parents the truth, they saw through her act and thought she could win them over and guilt me into changing my mind, but it didn't work. Her final stunt was the lowest. She showed up at our house one evening, demanding to be let back in. She stood on the front porch, pounding on the door, shouting that it was still her home. "You lost that right when you tried to sell it behind my back," I told her through the door. "You're a monster," she screamed. "You're going to regret this. You'll see what it's like when someone abandons you." That was it for me. I'd had enough of her manipulation, her entitlement, and her dirty tricks. I contacted the police and had her removed from the property. I also made sure she had no access to the house or any of our remaining finances. By the time the divorce was finalized, she had nothing left. No house, no savings, no access to any of the accounts. I made sure everything was locked down legally, so she couldn't touch another dime. She walked away with only her personal belongings and a mountain of debt from all the gambling she refused to take responsibility for. I wish I could say I felt bad, but I don't. Not even a little. I gave her every opportunity to come clean, to get help, to be honest with me. Instead, she lied, manipulated, and tried to destroy everything we had built together. She thought she could guilt and manipulate her way back into my life, but I wasn't falling for it anymore. The last I heard, she moved back in with her parents, still gambling, still making excuses for herself. She tried to reach out a few times, saying she'd changed, that she was going to therapy, but I didn't respond. I blocked her on everything. At the end of the day, some people don't want to change. They want to drag everyone else down with them. I wasn't going to let her destroy me, too. She made her bed, and now she has to lie in it. And for anyone out there dealing with something similar, remember this. You don't owe anyone anything if they betrayed you. Protect yourself, and don't let guilt cloud your judgment. People like that will take everything they can if you give them the chance. I walked away with my sanity, my home, and a fresh start. On the other hand, got exactly what she deserved. Nothing. I've moved on now, but if there's one thing I've learned from all this, it's that you can never let someone else's problems become your own. If they're willing to destroy themselves, don't let them drag you down with them. And hey, if you ever find yourself in a situation where someone's trying to screw you over, just remember, you've got the power to walk away. And hit that subscribe button if you want to hear more crazy stories like this. Trust me, I got plenty.